Well, but here somebody's flown the nest.
We've turned the tassel.
Turned the tassel, and
Yep.
young
Big
Izzy Jr. is on his way
Izzy
to college.
Jr. is headed west.
Headed west.
Like Horace Greeley said, go west, young man.
Yeah, is he going to find success in Garden City?
Let's hope. Garden City.
Well, in the meantime,
Busters.
his youngest son is proceeding to rent out his older
Yeah.
brother's room.
Oh yeah, he's excited. Getting the room to himself. But
Right.
that's the way it is. Gonna miss the
Rumors.
boy.
Yeah,
Hope he brushes his teeth.
I do too.
Yep. Well, hello and welcome to your old news update. I'm Izzy Fitz.
He took a minute.
I remembered.
And I'm Bud Driscoll.
And we're gonna shout out to our.
Shout out.
Yeah. Why don't you shout out to those guys right there? Eagle Crest.
Eagle Crest, the finest in retirement villages. And don't forget Headley's.
Well, you gotta give their address.
Oh,
1501 East Magnolia.
1501 East Magnolia. You
Yep.
might have to travel a little to get around.
That's
there
right.
now,
That's right.
But it's worth the effort.
That's right.
And then Headley's.
Howdy, Glenn.
County Glen, he fits the finest of Salina.
Yep.
And the Smoky Hill Museum, where you go in there and your history.
Yeah. 211 West Iron.
211 West Iron.
Edley's, 1829 South 9th.
I keep
Let's not
forgetting
forget
addresses.
that. So let's top the headlines from yesteryear. You're up there, young man.
Well, you may not believe this, Izzy, but we're not the only famous people to come out of Salina.
Oh, heavens no, heavens no.
May 22nd,
Talking the big
1962.
screen.
Yes. Patrice Wymore, for those of you who don't know, a television, movie, and nightclub star, and a Salina native is to marry Mac Caudill, Texas insurance man and late
Old Mac
June.
is a lucky man. Mac is a
Miss
lucky
Wymore's mother, Mrs. J.A. Wymore, 1719 Sycamore, Tuesday confirmed the impending marriage.
The nuptials. The nuptials.
Hollywood columnist Hedda Hopper said Patrice told her the ceremony would be held up until the couple's children are out of school. Patrice has an 8-year-old daughter, Arnella, by her former husband, this little-known actor named Errol Flynn.
Oh, Errol Flynn. What a heartthrob that dude was.
After Errol Flynn, isn't any other husband kind of a letdown?
Ah, it would have to
You
be.
would think.
But anyway, she married him.
I know.
I'm guessing.
Probably lived happily ever after.
Yeah, May 22nd, 1937. Defining war as, quote, the most senseless thing and the most insane action in which the human race can engage, vowing that no one is more eager to see wars ended for all time than the ex-servicemen who were uniformed employees of this great government during the late World War.
Yes.
Major Frank McFarland, 161st Field Artillery and former vice commander of the National Legion, nevertheless flung a challenge to, quote, those pacifists who would have this country disarm as an example of the remainder of the world, as he delivered the principal address, the opening exercise of St. John's Military School's 50th annual commencement.
And this
that
was
was on
1937.
in May of 1937. That was quite a while ago.
Unfortunately, some more senseless slaughter would happen because it was the eve of World War II, and
Yes.
we know how many perished in that great war.
That crazy man named Hitler.
And blessing to all that served.
That's right. Thank you for your service.
But we will go back to May 25th, 1937. Another thing to write, talk about the competition, but 1937.
Got to give them their due.
KSAL was
Give
not
them their-
competition. Journal used to own KSAL.
That's right.
So on May 25th, 1937, a test on the transmitting equipment and frequency of Salina's radio station KSAL will be made during the hours of 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. Wednesday. Andrew E. Crockett, general manager for the station, announced today. The actual test will start about 2 o'clock Wednesday morning. The program originating in the studios on the second floor of the
Andrew
Sherman
Crockett. I
building.
wonder if he's Davy's
And-
kid.
Yeah, well, 2 days later. Right, 2 days later on May
Just a mere
27th.
2 days.
Radio station KSL will go on the air Friday morning at 7 o'clock on a frequency of 1,500 kilocycles for its first complete 16-hour daily schedule, starting the 30-day program test period required before the formal license is granted.
Oh man, they could have not granted it. Son of a gun!
And look where it's been now.
Look how far they've
Look
come.
how far they've come.
May 25th, 1912. 3 years ago, Mr. and Mrs. Dwight H. Wolf of Kansas
Sorry,
City,
I did
Kansas.
that.
Yeah, you just can't pass it.
Woof.
You can't get this anywhere else, folks. They started on a 300-mile walking trip in the hope that it would restore the former's health.
Ah.
So Mr. Wolf,
Woof, woof.
wanted to get better health. They are still walking, and in addition to finding health on the trip, they have seen the eastern half of the United States having gained a reputation as pedestrians that rivals that of Edward Payson Weston.
Look at that. He
We
was.
have been well advertised, said Mr. Wolf shortly after their arrival in Salina this morning. But I am giving most of the credit to my wife, and she deserves it. There are few women who would have the nerve to attempt the trips she has taken. Mrs. Wolf has the distinction of being the champion woman walker of the world. That's hard to say. Champion woman walker of the world. And both the Wolves are in the picture of health. On all their trips, they have taken their horse Dolly Wolf,
Hello, Dolly.
which pulls the cart with their camp equipment, and their dog Dawn.
Who would name a dog Don?
I don't know. Well, apparently Mr.
Dawn
and
the
Mrs.
dog.
Wolf.
Yeah. Woof, woof.
Dolly and Dawn are with the party here. Mrs. Wolf is a stenographer, and she takes copious notes of the adventures each day. On their return from their last trip, these notes were compiled into a book, Tramping and Camping.
It's better than camping. Better than camping with tramps.
And they're selling this book.
They're selling. Well, I bet in 1912 it was probably like 10 cents,
Yeah,
10
it
or
was
15
cheap.
cents.
Read more about the way things used to be in the look back section of Monday's Salina Journal. Sorry about the coffin.
Yeah, and if we find a copy of Tramping and Camping by the Woof Woofs, we'll show it to you next time on our programs.
What an heirloom
What an heirloom. So,
for the Wolves.
So you have a great day, and we'll see you yesterday.